Welcome to Play Stupid Games, Win Stupid Prizes podcast with your host, Angie. All about the consequences of the games we play in the game of love, one story at a time. Welcome to Play Stupid Games, Win Stupid Prizes podcast.
We are on air.
Welcome, guys, to another episode of Play Stupid Games, Win Stupid Prizes podcast with your host, Angie. So today's topic, we're going to talk about, are you listening to react or are you listening to find solution? And this could be with anyone. This could be with work. This could be with your kids. This could be with your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. But before we get into that topic, let me just go ahead and thank you, everybody who reached out about episode 1 and all the good feedback. I really appreciate it. Love you guys so much. Thank you for being such a supporter. So I really appreciate that. I will put all the links to all of my social media, email, also guest speaker inquiry is all in the bio link if you just check the description of this episode. And I want to go ahead and apologize. My voice sounds a little raspy today because I just celebrated my birthday and I went out last night and I feel like fucking death right now. So are you listening to react or are you listening to find a solution? Like I said in the episode 1, I do feel like you learn the more you go. So the older you get, you do get a lot of wisdom. So I was always the kind of person that I was listening to whatever they were about to throw in my face so I can just throw it right back to them, right? And if anyone's into astrology, I'm a Gemini hardcore, like Gemini sun and moon. There's 4 people in my head. I always say that because Gemini is represented by the twins. And if my sun sign and my moon, how I feel and express my feelings is Gemini too, there's a fucking crowd, bitch. There's 4 of us. I used to always react because I always felt I was very defensive, but because I was always hushed growing up. I was the youngest. I'm the only girl. So my opinion didn't really matter as much growing up. And we all have childhood shit, and that's part of it. That's part of mine. So I felt like, obviously, with the years going by, I've learned to work on that. I'm not saying I'm 100% not reactive. Yeah, I'm fucking reactive as hell. A lot of people always tell me that I speak faster than they can think. So I'm still learning, just like you are learning. We're all learning when it comes to how to deal with other people, how to deal with ourselves. Listening to find solution is logical. It's coming from the brain. And listening to react is coming from your emotions, your heart. So it's like a brain versus heart matter. Let's just say you got in an argument with your partner, okay? There's a cooling period that everybody needs. And that was another thing I had to learn in life because I didn't understand that because I have abandonment issues too. So if you walked out and you wanted to cool off, I didn't believe that you were coming back. So we're all here healing, right? They don't want anyone thinking that I speak like I know everything because I don't. I speak from my experiences and what I realized, like, wow, I shouldn't do that, or wow, I need to work on that. Because if I can help somebody see something 10 years before they fuck up something, I would love to help out, okay, with my wisdom. So that's why we're here. You need that cooling period. You need that period to be like, once you go off that cooling period, if I have to give advice about this, I'm going to say there's got to be a cooling period. It could be a couple hours, depends, you and your partner have your way. Like, for example, my last relationship, I would probably need a whole night and then I'll talk to you tomorrow. But I would need an overnight, just to process in my head. My relationship before that, I was very needy and very unhealed, and I would need an hour. Bitch, we're gonna talk about this. Okay, so everyone's got their own thing with their partner, okay? You got your own rules. So whatever that time frame that you need to cool off, some people it's just 10, 15 minutes because they have fucking toddlers running around everywhere, right? It is what it is. Fill in the blank of what your time frame with you and your partner is accurate, the most accurate that works for you guys, okay? How do you know you're cooled off? Well, you don't fucking keep cussing them out in your head. That's how you know, okay? This is where you have to walk in this conversation asking yourself, are you going to listen to react to what he or she is going to say? Or are you going to listen because you are here to find solution? My assistant once told me, and my assistant said the best statement, and I will forever use this in the work field, and I'm using it right now with my podcast. She said, we're going to keep going in circles. Let's find a solution. And I'm like, because what are we doing? We don't want to keep repeating ourselves. Same thing with your partner. Are you going in there to fight with the person? Because why are you dating or why are you married to this person? Because if you're just going to react and attack them for whatever they're going to say of how they feel. Now, side note, it depends how you say it too. And we're going to get to that. Okay, just give me a second. Because if you are in a committed, loving relationship, marriage, whatever, and you love this person, you're going to want to hear how they feel because you you care for how they feel. And if you don't, then you shouldn't be here. Okay, you shouldn't be in the relationship. Now, because of that cooling period, some people like try to talk too soon and you're still pissed off, or one of you is still pissed off. Okay, now step 2 is how you say it. And I've actually read a lot of articles about this in the past where they say you don't tell them what they did. If somebody hurt your feelings, that doesn't mean that that's what they're doing. They're hurting your feelings. They didn't know that they were hurting your feelings. So how do you express that that's how you felt? Okay, this is how we do this, okay? When you said this, it made me feel insecure, or it made me feel not safe because fill in the blank. I'm always going to give you little side stories about my life to kind of like fill in the blank of what I'm talking about, but because I have so many experiences with shit like this is why this is a storytelling podcast as well, okay? I've said to someone before, so when I told them this, I said, God, my voice sounds so raspy. I'm so sorry, guys. I partied too hard. I'm paying for it today. Okay, anyways. So I said, when I didn't get a greeting card for our anniversary, it made me feel like I really did impact your life. Like I questioned your love for me. You don't attack them by saying, hey, when you said this, you hurt my feelings, made me cry all night. Like, no, we're not doing that. That's just blame shifting, okay? You're expressing to them, hey, this is how you made me feel, and fill in the blank why it made you feel like that. That way, this person might have a little bit of a chance that they're not going to listen to react, because if someone is attacking me like that, I'm going to react. But if you're trying to tell me how you feel or how I hurt your feelings, it's a whole different story when you're telling me it made you feel like that. A lot of people get very defensive. There shouldn't be blame shifting from the person who's expressing what the issue is or how they feel, okay? Also, if listening to react is all about your emotions, because it could be all emotions, right? Passion, angry, fear. But if you're listening to find a solution, it's being logical. The logic, what's smart here, because we're trying to find a solution, right? Listening to react, these are the negative points that I've realized with my experience, that when you listen to react, you end up regretting most of the time what you say because it's based off emotions. It never ends good. It never ends well when the reaction is based off emotions, because if that person reacted with anger, then what's going to happen when there's the second person reacts too? Like, it's just fucking fireworks, and not in a good way, okay? Reacting means you're defensive, so you kind of already come in like a guilt vibe, and not only that, you're just losing control over the situation. You just lost control because you let this person expressing to you how they feel make you react in an angry way. Like, why did you give that control to this person? Why someone you love expressing how they feel about something, why does that make you mad? That's where I feel like a lot of people, when they react, it's like a trigger. It's like, oh, because they did this. And it also means that you have no good listening skills. Like, there's one thing about listening and smiling and nodding, and you're not really like listening, you're just being supportive. And there's something about listening and controlling your feelings by not flipping out. It comes off very fear-based, and it's irrational. I can still be very irrational. I used to be a lot worse back in the day, but that's like pop-off energy, okay? Also, it means you can't control your emotions, that you have an outburst. It means you have a problem with boundaries. And it's also a fight, flight, or freeze mode when you react. Now, some key points of what I realized, that listening to find a solution, it comes off selfless, because you're not here just to fight about, well, you did this and you did this. Like, we're not going to sit here and point fingers at each other. That's the thing. Like, my last relationship, it got so bad with his blame shifting, and I'm going to put that all on him because it was so horrible. Like, you did this. I'm like, we already argued about that, and I thought we already found a solution to that. Why is that being brought up again? I'm like, oh my God, I can't. Like, you know? So blame shifting, no, we don't do that here. If you're really trying to be in a serious relationship and find a way to connect with someone that you bond and love a lot, and you want to spend the rest of your life with them, you're going to fucking put effort, okay? And putting effort, sorry, I'm getting angry right now. So listening to find a solution is selfless. It also shows that you are caring about the other person's vulnerability and you are listening to how they feel. You are also trying to improve your relationship in a mature way because you actually care for this individual, right? Also, it comes off not fear-based like the other one, but respect and love-based. It comes off showing that you have self-control. It's very attractive too. It shows emotional intelligence, patience, and you are accepting this person for the good and the bad. Because a lot of people fucking forget about that. They think it's all good, and when everything's great, I will put the effort when everything's good. But as soon as things go bad, yeah, no, I'm not doing this. And I'm not talking about marriage vows. I'm talking about if you love someone and you want to spend the rest of your life with them, build your life with this person. You can't just do it when it's good, bitch. You got to be there for the bad too, as you would want them to be there with you on your bad times, right? On your bad days. You accepting and being patient, listening to this person how they feel, whether you agree or not, right? It allows the other person to be more vulnerable and they can open up more and trust you, especially if it's someone that like stops telling you things because they don't think you care, or someone that you think is keeping things away from you, not telling you things, and you want them to open up more. If you want your partner to open up more, listen to them when they tell you how they feel, because it just gives them that open door, like, okay, I can speak and this person actually is listening to me. And to be like, wow, you're listening to me. Like, people don't realize how special it is when someone listens to you. It's very beautiful because, yeah, we all got ears and eyeballs, but not everyone listens, okay? Some people just hear, not listen. Let me not go down that rabbit hole about what the difference is, because I hope you guys know the difference of listening and hearing, okay? It allows them to open up and trust you. If someone gets up mid-conversation and walks out, and you're telling them how you feel, and they walk out, take that as someone who cannot have the emotional intelligence to communicate with another individual, period. So if somebody ghosts you or walks out when you're trying to express how you're feeling, do yourself a favor and let them. Because a lot of people, and I'm talking about experience here. This is experience-based, okay? What I'm about to say, okay? A lot of people, when they have these conversations of, let's find the solution to what we're arguing about, especially if one of you is manipulative, you can easily get gaslighted. You can easily gaslight the other person. What is the definition of gaslighting? The definition of gaslighting is a denial of a person's reality. And then I deny your reality of what you felt, and then I tell you that that's your issue, not mine. I don't take accountability. And not only that, I have no empathy for how you feel sad about it or hurt. That's gaslighting, okay? So what does that sound like? That sounds like listening to react. And like, for example, if they say, is there anything going on that I need to know? Say, no, there's nothing going on. It's probably because you're doing something wrong. You know, like that like little backlash. It's probably because you're doing it. You're the problem. You're the issue. And if someone is repeatedly gaslighting you, that was once, that's a whole different story. But if someone's repeatedly, and you see a pattern that every time you say something, they throw this back in your face, like I was just saying earlier, blame shifting or pointing fingers at you. Like you had a whole ass conversation about how you felt about something, and you realize that they didn't even like say one respond to the actual topic that you brought up. All the shit that they've been wanting to throw in your face. The fuck was the point of me telling you how I felt? Because we didn't even touch base on that. You're never going to find a solution with someone who keeps reacting and gaslighting you because a conditional person. That means that he or she is only here for the good times, because once it's bad, I'm just going to throw everything in your face and you're the issue because I don't have problems, is what this person is doing in that situation, okay? They're never going to try to understand how you felt, why you felt like that. So save yourself the trouble if they're not trying to understand or shit, even bring up one part of the topic that you brought up about why your feelings are hurt, why you feel insecure, or why you feel like you need reassurance, okay? If that's all they do is blame shift you and they never take accountability, I'm sorry, you're showing this person that you're never, ever going to take accountability because you think you're perfect. That's how, logically, you should take that statement, okay? These are some of the sayings that people say when they react instead of responding to find solution, okay? I just can't make you happy, can I? I do everything for us. And these are by experiences, okay? I'm not making these lines up, I'm not. Are you freaking kidding me? You're unbelievable. Ooh, that was my favorite too. I'm unbelievable. Brings up everything good that they ever did to you and throw it in your face. You're like, oh, see, why do favors if you're gonna throw it in someone's face? That's just a whole nother fucking podcast episode. The worst one for me, though, is the whole blame shifting. Or, like, they don't even answer the question. What about the time you did this? That's my favorite. The blame shifting. That's horrible. This is exactly what I say when somebody starts blame shifting to me about something that has nothing to do with this topic, okay? I started saying this, and I'm never going to probably stop saying this when somebody tries to blame shift with my last experiences in these situations. Such a great statement. The more manipulative person that you are, the more you don't like the statement that I'm about to say. Look, I took the time to sit down and have this mature conversation with you. If you want to bring up anything that I've done before this conversation, you can bring it up once I'm done talking and we have come to a conclusion or a solution of how to fix this. Until then, there's no blame shifting going on here. Okay? And then when we find the solution, we can go to fight and argue about that. But let's fix this, because now we're just going to add a bunch of like conversations that we're trying to fix, and a bunch of conversations we're trying to find solutions to that we're half-assing. And now we have all these triggers for future. This is why when you like a lot of people start arguing, you can see it's not getting better. It's because resolved. So when it never gets resolved, you're constantly gonna be triggered by the littlest fucking thing, because now you got 20 things, because 20 arguments you didn't fucking find the solution. So now you're gonna have those triggers down the road. This is why you find a solution. Like, just looking back and analyzing my past relationships and being like, wow, like, this is why you're supposed to like heal these conversations or heal these arguments. And, like, how can you go to sleep? Oh, that's a whole nother thing. I don't even like throw something back in their face. Like, I don't, if they're gonna blame shift me, and I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, well then you did it. No, I'm not. I used to do that. I'm not gonna lie. I used to do that. But when you listen to react, you eventually subconsciously, you're forcing the other person to not express their feelings. And that's what happened to me too. Every time I was having a conversation with this person, my vulnerability was getting weaker and weaker. I started getting more scared about expressing how I felt, because I didn't know if he would just lash out. Enforcing the other person to not express how they feel, to completely shut down and to emotionally withdraw. And that's when real problems start happening. So listen like you're in their shoes, and this is vice versa. That's my past. Now it's more the other person reacting, and I'm trying to learn how to not pop off when a motherfucker reacts, okay? Because that's what happens. One reacts, the other one reacts. It's so hard to not. I think it's easier to not react at first than to see your person reacting and you're trying to have self-control. That's harder. And that's where I'm at. I'm trying to learn how to do that. It doesn't matter what you think. You might not agree with what they said. You might not agree that they should even feel like that. It doesn't make it wrong, though. It's how they feel. How are you going to tell this person how they feel? That you're wrong. If that's how you feel, and that's how you fucking feel. People like need to learn that too, because people think that because it's not logic, emotions are not logic, bitch. Like, love is not logic, okay? But we're not trying to like lose our minds here in relationships. So there has to be logic when it comes to finding a solution. Yes, sometimes we don't understand why we feel like that, but it comes from somewhere. That's why I was saying in episode 1, you need to like dig deep. Validate the person's feelings. Okay, validating feelings is huge, and I'm realizing now that I'm in my late 30s, like I'm realizing that how big validating someone's feelings are. I realized that somebody was not validating my feelings. It made me feel unheard. It made me feel like they didn't care about how I felt. If you don't care if your girl's crying next to you, then ask yourself, why are you here? Because if you don't care that the person you say you love is hurting right now, then you need to go, right? Validate the feelings. Their feelings are worth being validated. And so are yours. So compromise also. Don't interrupt, I'm working on the interrupt. My brain is too fast. No, interrupting also comes off rude, and it can piss people off where then they end up reacting. And I've noticed I can do that. I can trigger that out of people. If I interrupt them, they get triggered, and then that's when I realize sometimes that they react. So I've been trying to work on that too. Don't interrupt, but also don't jump into conclusions, okay? Do you feel like I don't care about your feelings when I do this? Like, why do you feel like I don't care? Don't laugh it off. Oh my God, that's the worst thing you can do. And that's where I'm working on, though. See, that part, like, I already like healed not getting triggered that he's laughing, but I'm still healing the fact that what they do or say affect my emotions where I pop off. If you laugh it off, you might as well tell this person you're done, you hate them. Because if a motherfucker's laughing in my face, to me, that means I fucking hate you. Let's be real. Like, why are you laughing about me crying and telling you how I feel and how I'm hurt? Now you're laughing? Crazy. There's so many people out there that don't even realize how much you can actually hate the person that you are with. And I'm like, what? This world's so fucked, man. Okay. Don't laugh it off. That's manipulative. It comes off very narcissistic of you, okay? And also, take accountability. When I have this conversation with my person, I like to say, but also, you don't need to take accountability only when they call you out about it. It's even better if you step up and you're like, look, I know that you're still hurt about this, and like we're still working on that, but this is why I'm trying to find the solution. Like, take accountability without them having to throw anything in your face. I think it's better when you just bring it up before. Take accountability and don't put your walls up, because as soon as you put your walls up and you start reacting, the other person shuts down. It's like a shell of a relationship. It's like, at this point, we're just waiting for this bomb to tick, you know? Like, it's probably gonna end up toxic or very like hateful. So don't put your walls up. Okay, so I'm going to mention some of the signs that if this person is doing this repeatedly, I'm going to need you to run to the nearest exit, because, okay, these are the signs that they can be either manipulative. Also, this could be very narcissistic, manipulative traits. So run. They always remind you of your past mistakes to keep you down because they feel attacked. They act superior and entitled. They lack the understanding of what boundaries are. Like, I remember telling somebody, this is my boundaries, and if you cross that, I need to question myself if I can be with someone that crosses that boundary, because this is why I have this boundary. And they went and they're like, okay, well, my plans are still, I'm still doing that. So, like, I don't know what to tell you. So, like, if they are not understanding your boundaries or they don't have boundaries, yeah, they lack empathy. That's already a narcissist trait. Going straight to bed and you're crying asleep. They don't give a fuck of how you feel. That's not having empathy for you. That's not being understanding, but being emotionally affected that their loved one is hurting. Also, when they try to intimidate you to get their way. They try to control you by guilt tripping. They never apologize. So, not all the time people play the victim, but when you realize that every time you try to talk to this person about some issue and they just, woe is me and it's all your fault, yeah, that's if there's like a lack of empathy with it, okay? They give backhanded compliments. They overly are defensive and they act out of fear and insecurity. Those are the signs that if your partner does that, you need to run, because they, and I'm saying repeatedly, not just once or twice, like they do this every time you tell them how you feel. So to end this episode, I just wanted to say this one little like cute quote that I came up with. It says, the difference of reacting and listening to find solution is when you react, they're in control. But when you respond to find solution, you're in control. Thank you guys for listening to another episode. Thank you guys.